Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're taking a deep dive into something really fascinating: how successful people think. We're cracking open John C. Maxwell's book, How Successful People Think. And trust me, we've got a stack of insights ready to unearth, some real nuggets of wisdom that can help you level up in, well, all aspects of life, really.
Absolutely. And, it's not about some kind of inherent genius or IQ. Nope. It's all about learning the skills of thinking effectively. Because at the end of the day, the way you think, that shapes everything: your actions, your outcomes, even your legacy.
Okay, so let's unpack this a little. Let's start with one of Maxwell's key concepts: big picture thinking. It's all about, well, seeing beyond those immediate concerns, understanding the wider context, the bigger picture.
Exactly. It's like, imagine you're standing right up close to a massive mural. You're so focused on this tiny little detail. Maybe you're admiring the brushstrokes or something, but you're missing the grand masterpiece, the whole point.
You're so right. And that's what happens when we get bogged down in the day-to-day, the minutia. We lose sight of the overall context, the long-term vision.
100%. Big picture thinking, it's about zooming out, seeing the forest for the trees, as they say. And it's crucial for leadership, for sure. It lets you anticipate those big trends. You can develop comprehensive strategies, and you can even spot opportunities that others might miss entirely.
Now here's a challenge for our listeners. Think about a recent project or maybe a decision you made that felt, I don't know, particularly challenging. Did you approach it with that wide lens? Did you consider all the potential implications? Or were you maybe a little too focused on just one single aspect?
It's a great question. And how do you think a broader perspective, that big picture view, how might that have changed your approach? Or even the outcome?
Something to really think about. It reminds me of that Henry David Thoreau quote: "Many an object is not seen, though it falls within the range of our visual ray, because it does not come within the range of our intellectual ray."
Deep stuff, right?
Hmm.
It is, and it's so true. We can be physically present, sure, but mentally checked out, missing those crucial insights because our intellectual ray, it's not activated. We're not really engaging with the situation.
It happens to the best of us, right?
Right.
So how do we actually cultivate this big picture thinking? Maxwell offers some really great tips.
Yeah, he does. First up, embrace ambiguity and those diverse ideas. Don't try to force everything into these neat little boxes. The world is messy, and that's okay.
Embrace the mess. Okay, what else?
Second, learn from every experience. The good, the bad, the ugly, the successes, the failures. Each one, it holds a valuable lesson, right? Like a piece of the puzzle that helps you see the bigger picture.
Love that analogy. So learn from everything. Got it. Anything else?
Don't limit yourself. Get out of your bubble.
Yeah.
Seek advice from people who have different perspectives, different experiences than you. Challenge your assumptions. Expand your world. Go beyond what's familiar.
Don't be afraid to shake things up a bit, right?
Exactly. And, Maxwell even encourages us to question conventional wisdom. Don't be afraid to poke at the status quo, explore uncharted territory.
No, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've got the big picture in mind, but how do we actually get things done? That leads us to another crucial thinking skill: focused thinking.
Yeah, focused thinking. It's like you're directing your mental energy like a laser beam,
Right.
concentrating on a specific goal with this unwavering intensity.
Okay, I can see how that might be a challenge in today's world.
Yep.
We've got distractions everywhere.
It is. It's a real antidote to all that noise.
Yeah.
Focused thinking, it's how we master those skills. It's how we refine processes and how we solve those really complex problems. Think about a baseball pitcher, perfecting a curveball. That takes immense focus and repetition. You don't just wake up and do it.
I see your point. Or, I don't know, imagine you're leading a team on a massive project. Lots of moving pieces, lots of deadlines. Focused thinking helps you define that clear roadmap. Prioritize tasks, maintain momentum, even when things get tough.
For sure. It's all about identifying what truly matters and cutting out those distractions, all that noise that can derail your progress. Maxwell really emphasizes this, choosing your focus wisely.
So how do we choose?
He suggests, first, figure out your priorities. Base them on your strengths, areas with the highest return on investment, and opportunities for growth. It's that whole idea of playing to your strengths,
Absolutely. Play to those strengths. Got it. What else?
He also encourages us to, uncover our dream, those recurring areas of interest that we're just naturally drawn to. We pursue them with passion and dedication. They're often clues to our true purpose and where our focus should lie, really.
Okay, so we've identified our focus. What's next?
Minimize those distractions. Stay committed to the process. Maybe try techniques like time blocking. You dedicate specific blocks of time to a single task, and you eliminate those interruptions. No emails, no phone calls, just pure focus.
I like it, a mental sanctuary for deep work. Okay, so we've got the big picture, we're focused. Now let's shake things up a bit. Let's talk about creative thinking.
Ah, yes, creative thinking. It's the engine of progress, for sure. It allows us to, well, to generate those new ideas, to combine existing concepts in novel ways, to find solutions where others might just see obstacles.
This is where things get exciting, the realm of imagination and possibility.
Exactly. And, a crucial part of creative thinking, embracing failure. Thomas Edison, he famously said, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." What a perspective, right?
I love that. So true. It's not about seeing setbacks as defeats. It's about viewing them as, I don't know, valuable learning experiences.
100%. Creative thinkers, they don't get discouraged by roadblocks. No, they see them as opportunities to iterate, to refine, and ultimately to arrive at a more innovative solution.
Okay, I want to put you on the spot here. Can you recall a time when you faced a challenge and, I don't know, you surprised yourself with an unconventional solution?
Ooh, good question. Let me think.
Maybe you found a workaround for a tech issue or came up with a totally unique marketing strategy, something like that.
Those aha moments, they often come from creative thinking in action. It's about making those connections that others just miss, seeing patterns and, seemingly unrelated things, and being willing to experiment with approaches that are outside the box.
I love it. So how do we nurture that creative spirit?
Maxwell emphasizes that, well, it becomes more potent over time. The more you use it, the stronger it gets. With dedicated focus and a supportive environment, you can really nurture those creative abilities, unlock your full innovative potential.
So environment matters. I'm thinking of companies like Google, known for those innovative cultures. They encourage experimentation, they tolerate failure, and they foster collaboration. All key ingredients, right?
Definitely. But it's not just about having beanbag chairs and ping pong tables. It's about cultivating that mindset, embracing curiosity, challenging assumptions, and seeking out new perspectives. Always be learning.
Love it. Okay, so we've got all this creative energy flowing, but now let's talk about realistic thinking.
Ah, yes. The voice of reason.
Right. Time to temper those flights of fancy.
It's not about being a pessimist or like a naysayer raining on everyone's parade. It's about grounding those great ideas in practicality, making sure they're viable, asking those tough questions to assess feasibility before you just dive headfirst into a project.
Makes sense. So how do we develop that realistic thinking muscle?
Well, Maxwell himself, he admits he initially resisted this whole realistic thinking thing. He saw it as too negative, but then he came to appreciate it as an essential tool for problem solving, learning from mistakes and making those informed decisions.
So it's not about dwelling on the negative. It's about, I don't know, being prepared.
Exactly. It helps you bridge the gap between your big aspirations and the practical steps needed to achieve them.
So asking those practical questions early on, what resources do I need? What could go wrong? How will I measure success? That kind of thing.
You got it. And realistic thinking, it helps you identify the truly important decisions too. Filter out the noise, all those distractions that can lead you astray.
So it's less about, oh, this is all going to fail, and more about, okay, what if this happens? How can I be ready?
Exactly. It's about minimizing the gap between your expectations and reality, which, leads to greater satisfaction and a higher likelihood of success. Who doesn't want that?
Okay, so we've explored realistic thinking. Now let's talk about strategic thinking.
All right, strategic thinking. We're moving from brainstorming to action planning. This is where the rubber meets the road.
Exactly. So strategic thinking is what? It's the art of moving beyond just having ideas, right? To actually creating those actionable plans, ones that align with our long-term goals.
And Maxwell emphasizes that this isn't just for businesses or the military. No way. This is applicable to all areas of life.
Bring on the strategy. So, any tips from the master himself?
He actually shares his personal monthly planning strategy. He blocks out time for all the key tasks. Thinking, writing, working, meetings, even leisure time. This proactive approach to time management, it allows him to stay focused on his priorities and make consistent progress towards his goals. He's not just winging it.
It's so interesting. Even leisure time is a strategic element for him. It really highlights the importance of rest and rejuvenation for optimal thinking.
Right. He's not just going all the time. And you know what else? He's got systems for efficiency. Like he's got this extensive filing system for quotes, stories, articles, all kinds of things, this meticulous organization. It lets him access information quickly when he needs it, which supports his writing and speaking engagements. He's always prepared.
It's all about working smarter, not harder. So how do we become more strategic in our thinking?
It's about asking the right questions. You got to clarify your goals, assess your resources, evaluate your progress, and, make course corrections along the way. It's not a set it and forget it thing.
Flexibility is key.
Definitely. And strategic thinking, it helps you tailor your approach to specific situations. No one-size-fits-all solutions here. It's about customizing your strategies based on the unique context and challenges you're facing.
Okay, so we've talked about realistic and strategic thinking, both essential for achieving our goals. Now let's inject some of that, boundless enthusiasm back into the mix. Let's talk about possibility thinking.
Yes. Possibility thinking. It's like the antidote to those limiting beliefs and all that self-doubt. It's all about pushing past those perceived limitations, embracing that can-do attitude, and truly believing that anything is possible if you set your mind to it.
Right. It's like that famous quote, whether you think you can or you think you can't, you're right. Our beliefs, they shape our reality.
So true. And it's fascinating that Maxwell uses George Lucas as an example, even though Lucas himself admits to being naturally cynical.
Wait, hold on. George Lucas, the creator of Star Wars, a universe that's just brimming with imagination and possibility. That guy is naturally cynical.
I know, right? It seems counterintuitive, but it actually highlights a crucial point. Possibility thinking, it's a choice. Lucas consciously chooses optimism, to counter that cynicism. It shows us that we can cultivate this mindset with intention.
Yeah.
Even if it doesn't come naturally.
So it's not about being delusional, ignoring those potential challenges, but more about choosing to focus on what's possible, even when things are tough.
Precisely. And Maxwell, he offers some very practical advice for developing possibility thinking.
Lay it on us.
It starts with believing in yourself and your abilities. Recognize your strengths, acknowledge your accomplishments, and cultivate that positive self-image.
Okay, believe in yourself, check. What else?
Cultivate that positive mental attitude, Focus on what's right and look for ways to improve. Choose to see the glass half full even when things get tough.
Love it. It's all about perspective, like the power of gratitude, right?
Exactly. When you focus on what you're grateful for, it shifts your whole perspective. It opens you up to all sorts of possibilities.
So gratitude and a positive attitude. Got it. What else?
Surround yourself with those positive influences. Limit your exposure to negativity. Think about the people you spend time with, the media you consume, the information you're letting into your mind. It all shapes your outlook.
It's like you are what you consume.
Exactly. And he suggests we dream one size bigger. Set those goals that stretch your potential, even if they seem a little, scary at first. Push beyond your comfort zone. Embrace the unknown.
I love that. Dream bigger. Okay, so possibility thinking. It's about expanding our horizons, challenging those limitations we put on ourselves, and embracing the adventure.
Absolutely. And that leads us to a practice that's so crucial for growth. Reflective thinking. In a world that's constantly telling us to go, 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 this might feel, counterintuitive. But slowing down, taking time for reflection, it's essential for learning from your experiences and making more informed decisions.
It does feel like we're constantly bombarded with information stimulation.
Yeah.
So reflective thinking, it's like a much-needed pause, a chance to catch our breath.
It is. It's all about gaining perspective and understanding, looking back at your actions, your decisions, your experiences. It's about asking those insightful questions. What went well? What could I have done differently? What did I learn from this whole thing?
Asking the right questions, it can be so powerful.
It is. Maxwell actually highlights the importance of regularly reflecting on both the good and the bad. He even suggests asking really simple questions like, what did you like best? And what did you learn? After just everyday events like a family dinner or, a team meeting at work.
It's like making a conscious effort to be more present, to extract those insights from those, seemingly mundane experiences.
Exactly. It's about turning every experience into a learning opportunity. And reflective thinking also helps you identify those patterns in your behavior, both good and bad. You become aware of them, and then you can consciously choose, Reinforce the positive ones and break free from those negative patterns that aren't serving you.
It's about taking control, becoming the architect of your own life.
100%. And it's not just about personal growth. Reflective thinking strengthens your intuition, too. By regularly reviewing your past decisions, looking at the outcomes, you develop this deeper understanding of what works and what doesn't. So you make those quicker, more effective decisions in the future.
It's like you're building this mental database of experiences. You can draw on it when you're facing new challenges.
Right. You're constantly learning and growing. Okay, are you ready for a potentially controversial one?
Hit me with it.
Let's talk about questioning popular thinking.
Ah, now we're talking. This sounds like a call to challenge the status quo, thinking for yourself rather than just blindly following the crowd.
You got it. It's all about developing that healthy skepticism, not just accepting everything you hear at face value. Be willing to consider those alternative viewpoints, even if they're not popular.
So be a critical thinker. I like it.
Maxwell, he actually points out that popular thinking, it can be very limiting. He calls it, get this, he says it's too average, inflexible, lazy, small, satisfied, traditional, naive, undisciplined, limiting, trendy, shallow, proud, self-absorbed, and uncommitted to embrace the various types of thinking that lead to success.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
Right. But it really paints a vivid picture. It highlights those dangers of conforming to the norm without, stopping to analyze things.
I mean, think about some of those historical examples, like the housing bubble or the dot-com crash.
Exactly. Those were fueled by people blindly following trends without questioning the fundamentals. And, think about social media today. It's full of misinformation, echo chambers. It can really distort our perceptions of reality.
So how do we guard against that? How do we become more discerning?
It's not about rejecting everything just because it's popular. No, it's about examining things critically, forming your own informed opinions.
Be an independent thinker.
Maxwell encourages us to ask those tough questions. Why is this belief so widely held? What evidence supports this? Are there other perspectives I should consider?
Love it. Question everything. Okay, so we've talked about the importance of independent thinking. Now let's flip the script and talk about the power of collaboration with shared thinking.
All right, shared thinking. This is the antidote to that lone wolf mentality, the idea that we have to achieve everything on our own. It just doesn't work that way.
Right. Teamwork makes the dream work.
Shared thinking recognizes that none of us is as smart as all of us, It's about harnessing the collective intelligence of a team, leveraging those diverse perspectives, working together towards those common goals.
The whole is greater than the sum of its parts, right?
Exactly. Think about the most successful teams, the ones who make history. In sports, in science, in any field, really. They all rely on shared thinking. It's about creating that environment where everyone feels safe to contribute, where those different perspectives are valued, and where people can give and receive constructive criticism.
So psychological safety is key.
For sure. And when people feel like their voices are heard, like their contributions are valued, they're so much more invested in the outcome, right? And this leads to greater innovation and creativity. Bringing people together with different backgrounds, different experiences, you generate a wider range of ideas and solutions.
It's like that saying, two heads are better than one.
Exactly. And Maxwell, he emphasizes that shared thinking isn't about seeking validation for your own ideas. No, it's about being open to new insights and approaches, recognizing that those best solutions, they often come from the synergy of different minds working together.
It's beautiful, really, when you think about it. So shared thinking, it's about creating a space where the best thinking wins, regardless of who came up with the idea.
100%. Okay, let's shift gears a bit to a type of thinking that goes beyond personal gain. Let's talk about unselfish thinking.
Okay, unselfish thinking. This sounds like we're moving beyond that what's in it for me mentality.
You got it. It's about considering the well-being of others, putting their needs before your own, and seeking ways to make a positive impact on their lives. And, building meaningful relationships based on mutual benefit.
Yeah.
It's not just about taking, it's about giving back.
Giving back, paying it forward, right? It's like that quote by Zig Ziglar. You can have everything in life you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want.
Oh, that's a good one. It really captures the spirit of unselfish thinking. And, it's not about sacrificing your own goals. It's about recognizing that true success, it often comes from contributing to something larger than yourself. Shifting that focus from me to we.
From me to we. Love that.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's bring it all back to the core objective. Maxwell talks about bottom line thinking.
Yes. Back to the essentials. Bottom line thinking is all about clarity and focus. It's about ensuring that your actions are aligned with your desired outcome. No wasted effort.
Cutting through the clutter, eliminating distractions, focusing on what truly matters.
Right.
You got it. Maxwell shares a really poignant story about visiting Ground Zero after 9/11. He was so struck by the resilience and dedication of those working to rebuild, it really highlighted the bottom line of the recovery effort. That unwavering commitment to overcome adversity, to create a better future. And it was a really powerful example of how bottom line thinking can be applied even in the most challenging circumstances.
I can only imagine. So it's about focusing on that essential purpose, maintaining clarity even in the midst of chaos, and aligning actions with those ultimate goals.
It is. And bottom line thinking, it often involves asking those tough questions, like, is this task truly essential? Does it actually contribute to our main objective? Are we using our time and resources wisely?
So being really intentional with our choices.
Exactly. It's about being ruthlessly focused on what's essential, even if it means letting go of things that, you once thought were important. And so, bottom line thinking, it's not just about efficiency and productivity. It's about making sure your efforts are truly aligned with your values and that they contribute to a meaningful outcome, something bigger than yourself.
I love that. So we've covered the first 6 thinking styles that Maxwell outlines in his book. We're going to dive into the remaining 5 in the next part of our deep dive. But before we move on, I want to hear from you.
What's resonating so far?
What's standing out? What's sparking some new insights? Or maybe even challenging your existing beliefs?
Yeah, what's getting you thinking?
Because it's fascinating how interconnected these different thinking styles are, It's
Yeah.
not about just mastering one. It's about having a diverse toolkit, knowing when to apply each one.
Yeah, it's like a symphony, right? Each instrument plays a crucial role in creating that overall harmony.
Love that. And the amazing part is, these are skills that you can develop and refine no matter where you're starting from. It's not about innate talent or intelligence. It's about making a conscious effort to improve the way you think.
Absolutely. And just imagine the possibilities if you were to truly master these ways of thinking.
Welcome back to our deep dive into how successful people think.
We're back, ready for more thinking styles.
Last time, we explored those first 6 thinking styles. Big picture thinking, focus thinking, creative thinking, realistic thinking, strategic thinking, and possibility thinking. It was quite a journey.
It was. We talked about zooming out to see the whole context, harnessing that mental energy, embracing those failures as part of the creative process,
Grounding those great ideas in practicality, plan strategically, believing in the power of possibility.
So much good stuff.
Now, we're going to delve into those remaining 5 thinking styles: reflective thinking, questioning popular thinking, shared thinking, unselfish thinking, and bottom line thinking. So many ways to think.
And each one, it builds upon the last, creating this powerful framework for achieving success in all areas of life, really.
But before we jump in, I want to hear from you.
What's resonating with you the most from what we've discussed so far?
What's sparking those new insights, or maybe challenging those existing beliefs? What's got you thinking?
Yeah, tell us.
Because it's fascinating, right? How these different thinking styles, they complement each other. It's not about mastering just one. It's about, having that diverse toolkit, knowing when to apply each one.
You're so right. It's like, imagine a master chef, right? They're not just using one knife the whole time. They're seamlessly transitioning between knives, whisks, spatulas, you name it. They're using the right tool for the job.
I love that analogy. And just like a chef, we can develop and refine these thinking styles over time. It's not about innate talent. It's about effort and intention.
100%. So let's dive into the next thinking style. We're talking about reflective thinking.
Reflective thinking. This sounds like we're hitting the pause button for a minute. Taking stock.
It is. It's about slowing down, taking a step back, and gaining perspective on your actions, decisions, experiences, all of it. It's about asking yourself those tough questions, those honest questions, What worked well? What could I have done differently? What did I learn?
Those are the questions that lead to growth.
They are. And Maxwell, he really highlights this, the importance of regularly reflecting on those experiences, both positive and negative. He even suggests asking simple questions, even after everyday events, like a family outing or a work meeting. Things like, what did you like best? Or what did you learn?
Those are such great prompts. Simple but powerful.
Right. They encourage us to be more mindful and present, to extract those insights, even from those, seemingly ordinary moments. It's all about turning those experiences into learning opportunities.
Turning every experience into a learning opportunity. I love it.
Reflective thinking, it also helps you identify those patterns in your behavior, both helpful and unhelpful. And by becoming aware of those patterns, you can choose. You can reinforce the positive ones, and you can break free from the negative ones.
It's like you're taking ownership, right? Becoming more self-aware.
Exactly. You're taking control of your growth and development. And you know what else? Reflective thinking, it strengthens your intuition too. By regularly reviewing your past decisions, looking at the outcomes, you develop this, I don't know, this deeper understanding of what works and what doesn't. You can make those quicker, more effective decisions in the future.
It's like you're building that mental muscle. You've got that experience to draw on. Okay, are you ready for a thinking style that might ruffle a few feathers?
Ooh, I like where this is going. Hit me.
Let's talk about questioning popular thinking.
All right, here we go. Time to challenge the status quo. This is about thinking for yourself, not blindly following the crowd, right?
Right. Developing that healthy skepticism, that critical eye. Not just accepting everything you're told at face value.
Yeah.
Be willing to consider those alternative viewpoints,
Right.
even if they're not the most popular.
Exactly. And Maxwell, he actually points out that popular thinking can be really limiting. He even has this whole description. He says popular thinking is too average, inflexible, lazy, small, satisfied, traditional, naive, undisciplined, limiting, trendy, shallow, proud, self-absorbed, and uncommitted to embrace the various types of thinking that lead to success.
It's a mouthful, but it's so true.
It highlights the dangers of groupthink, blindly conforming to the norm without any critical analysis, and it can lead to some really bad decisions.
I mean, think about those historical examples like the housing bubble or the dot-com crash.
Yeah.
People were just following the crowd, not thinking for themselves.
And today, think about the influence of social media. It can be tough to discern what's real and what's not, right?
It can. So how do we guard against that?
Yeah.
How do we become more discerning?
It's not about rejecting everything just because it's popular. It's about examining those ideas critically, forming your own informed opinions.
Being an independent thinker.
Exactly. Maxwell encourages us to ask questions like, why is this belief so widely held? What evidence supports it? Are there other perspectives I should be considering?
Love it. Question everything. Okay, so we've talked about the importance of independent thinking. Now let's talk about the power of collaboration. Let's talk about shared thinking.
Shared thinking. It's the idea that we can achieve so much more when we work together.
Right. It's like that saying, two heads are better than one.
Shared thinking, it recognizes that none of us is as smart as all of us. It's about harnessing that collective intelligence, leveraging those diverse perspectives, and working together towards those common goals.
I mean, think about some of the most successful teams in history, in sports, in science, in any field, really. It's all about teamwork.
You're so right. It's about creating that environment where everyone feels safe to contribute, where those different viewpoints are actually valued, and where people feel comfortable giving and receiving that constructive criticism.
So creating that safe space for collaboration is essential.
It is. And when people feel like their voices are heard, like their contributions are valued, they're so much more invested in the outcome. And this leads to greater innovation, greater creativity, bringing people together with different backgrounds, experiences, perspectives. That's where the magic happens.
If each person brings a piece of the puzzle. Right?
Exactly. And Maxwell, he really emphasizes that shared thinking isn't about seeking validation for your own ideas. It's about being open to those new insights, those new approaches. It's recognizing that the best solutions often emerge when different minds come together.
It's beautiful when it works well. So shared thinking, it's about creating a space where the best thinking wins, regardless of who came up with the idea.
Yes, 100%. Okay, ready for a shift in perspective?
Bring it on.
Let's talk about unselfish thinking.
Unselfish thinking. Sounds like we're moving beyond self-interest here.
We are. It's about considering the well-being of others. It's about putting their needs before your own and finding those ways to make a positive impact on their lives. Building those meaningful relationships based on mutual benefit. It's not just about taking, it's about giving back.
It reminds me of that Zig Ziglar quote. You can have everything in life you want if you will just help enough other people get what they want.
Oh, that's a perfect quote for this. It really captures that spirit of unselfish thinking. And, it's not about sacrificing your own goals either. It's about recognizing that true success, it often comes from contributing to something bigger than yourself.
It's about shifting that focus from me to we.
Exactly, from me to we. And Maxwell shares a really heartwarming example of unselfish thinking in action. He talks about the Maxwell House Haggadah.
The what?
The Maxwell House Haggadah. For over 70 years, the coffee company has been distributing these Passover booklets, and it's made a significant contribution to Jewish tradition, impacting millions of lives.
Wow, that's amazing. I had no idea. So even a company can demonstrate unselfish thinking.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that even those seemingly small acts of kindness, those seemingly unrelated acts, they can have a profound impact.
What a great story. Okay, so let's bring it all back to the core objective, that ultimate goal.
Yeah.
Maxwell talks about bottom line thinking.
Yes. Back to the essentials. Bottom line thinking, it's all about clarity, about focus, making sure that your actions are aligned with that desired outcome, no wasted effort.
It's about cutting through the clutter, eliminating those distractions, and really focusing that energy on what truly matters.
You got it. Maxwell tells this really poignant story about visiting Ground Zero after 9/11, and he was just struck by the resilience, the dedication of all those people who were working so tirelessly to rebuild. It really highlighted the bottom line of that recovery effort, that unwavering commitment to overcome adversity and create a better future.
Wow, that must have been powerful to witness.
It was, and it's a powerful example of how bottom-line thinking can be applied even in those most challenging situations. It's about focusing on that essential purpose, maintaining clarity even amidst the chaos, and aligning your actions with your ultimate goals.
So even in the face of tragedy, there's that focus on the bigger picture, on the ultimate goal.
Exactly. And bottom line thinking, it often involves asking those tough questions. Is this task really essential? Does it contribute to our core objective? Are we investing our time and resources wisely?
Being really intentional with our choices.
Exactly. It's about being ruthless, in a sense, in your pursuit of the essential, even if it means letting go of things that you once thought were important. And so bottom line thinking, it's not just about efficiency and productivity. It's about making sure those efforts are aligned with your values and that they contribute to a meaningful outcome, something bigger than yourself.
I love that. Okay, so we've now explored all 11 thinking styles that Maxwell outlines in his book.
What a journey. From zooming out to see that big picture, to focusing our mental energy, to embracing those failures, to questioning those popular beliefs, to collaborating with others, to thinking unselfishly, and finally to bringing it all back to that bottom line. So much to think about.
It is. Each thinking style, it offers that unique perspective, a valuable tool for achieving success in all areas of life. But I'm curious, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, what are your key takeaways now that we've covered all 11 thinking styles?
What's resonating? What are you excited to apply to your own life? As we wrap up this deep dive into how successful people think, I'm really struck by, well, the sheer breadth and depth of Maxwell's framework.
It's impressive,
It
right?
really is. It's
Yeah.
not just like a random collection of tips or tricks. This is a comprehensive guide to developing that mindset for success.
It's a whole system.
And we've explored 11 distinct thinking styles, each offering a unique perspective, a valuable tool for navigating, well, the complexities of life.
And we started with that expansive vision, that big picture thinking.
And we talked about that laser focus, that focused thinking.
We explored those boundless possibilities of creative thinking.
And then we brought it back down to earth with that grounding practicality of realistic thinking. It's all about balance, right?
Exactly. Balance is key.
We talked about the strategic foresight of strategic thinking, that unwavering optimism of possibility thinking,
The wisdom of reflective thinking.
the courage to question popular thinking,
The power of collaboration, that shared thinking.
the compassion of unselfish thinking.
And finally, bringing it all back to that core objective, that bottom line thinking.
So many different ways to approach a problem, a challenge, or even just, everyday life.
And what's really interesting? What sets Maxwell's framework apart, in my opinion, is that emphasis on integration. It's not about mastering just one of these thinking styles. No, it's about developing that diverse toolkit and knowing when to apply each one.
So true. It's like, imagine a master musician. They're not just playing one instrument the whole time. They seamlessly transition between them, right? They use the right instrument to evoke the desired emotion, create that perfect harmony.
Perfect analogy. Or think about a skilled athlete, They effortlessly shift between strength, agility, strategy. They adapt their approach based on what the game demands.
They're versatile. They can handle anything.
And that's the power of mastering these 11 thinking styles. You become more adaptable, more resilient, more effective in all areas of life. You can zoom out to see that big picture, then zoom in and focus on those critical details.
You can think big, then act small.
Exactly. Generate those creative solutions, then ground them in practicality. Plan strategically, and then execute with precision. You can believe in the seemingly impossible and then take those concrete steps to make it a reality.
And you know what? These are skills, not just some innate talents.
Uh-huh.
Anyone can develop and refine these thinking styles well, with practice, with intention.
It's not about being born a genius. It's about choosing to become a more effective thinker. It's a choice. And Maxwell reminds us thinking it's a process, not just a one-time event.
It's a journey, a lifelong journey of continuous learning, of growth.
Exactly. So where do you go from here? How will you integrate these thinking styles into your own life?
What challenges are you facing that you could approach with a new perspective? What goals are you going to pursue with that renewed determination? What impact are you going to make on the world around you? It's all within your reach.
The power is in your hands.
And as we conclude this deep dive, I want to leave you with this thought. The way you think, it determines the way you live. Choose to think like a successful person, and you unlock that potential to create a life of meaning, of purpose, and of fulfillment.
Keep thinking, keep exploring, and keep pushing those boundaries of what's possible.
And that's our deep dive for today. Thanks for joining us.